Opening night for American Ballet Theater is just days away, and the burden of the season's most important evening rests on the slender shoulders of these two young dancers, Paloma Herrera and Corella. The ballet is Don Quixote.
Okay, sorry.
He has never danced the role before, nor any full-length role for that matter.
Too late, like eons too late.
How I feel? Yeah, tired, nervous. Nah, I feel good. It's very fun.
She has a bit of a head start, having performed her role for the first time last year.
I'm really exciting. I think it was a great ballet. I love doing it, and it's very exciting to have a new partner, and it's really great.
There you go.
21-year-old Paloma and 20-year-old Angel are two of the most promising talents to come on the ballet scene in years. Kevin McKenzie, a former ballet star himself, is now ABT's artistic director. He knows a ballet company's health, artistic and financial, depends on star power. He thinks these two are ready to shine.
Because what I want to see is the finish of, from here, that we're going around, and it's, the two of us are going,
They're hungry to solve. They want perfection. They're going for perfection. And in doing it, they both take risks. There's nothing quite like watching someone fearless.
Paloma is much more finished. She is a prima ballerina, not only in the making, but very close to being there.
Clive Barnes has been a dance critic for 45 years. Elizabeth Kay writes about dance and has profiled Angel Corella.
And there is a chain of succession that I think extends, let's say, from Eric Brun to Nureyev to Baryshnikov. And there was something about Corella from the very beginning where the mantle seemed to flirt above his shoulders.
Again, 3 and 1.
Even during the daily ritual of the company class, something shines out.
Good. Side, good. Keep the chest nice and open.
Ballet coach Alain Aubert.
We have 75 of the best dancers in the world in this company. So what sets these young people apart is their passion, and that cannot be taught.
These young dancers are the latest stars in a company that enjoys one of the richest traditions in the world of ballet. For more than half a century, ABT has preserved the classics, created new works, and been home to some of the great artists of our time. Home to choreographers like Agnes DeMille and Anthony Tudor. Home to dancers like Natalia Makarova and Mikhail Baryshnikov.
I started when I was 7, and I'm not really sure why or how. There's something about pointers that I want to, and a tutu, and I just want ballet. And from the first day, I loved it.
Paloma Herrera began winning ballet competitions at age 8. By 11, she was studying in the Soviet Union. By 15, she had signed with ABT in New York.
She can turn like a top and has a wonderful natural jump.
Angel Corella was born in Madrid and first studied judo. He hated it.
The day that I go to the class, one boy broke the nose, or the other one, so I was like, no, I don't like that. I liked to dance always when I was 2 years, and I was every day dancing, so I think it's my life.
He was a prodigy from the start, but somehow got lost in the shuffle until he won a ballet competition. A competition he hated almost as much as judo.
You feel like a cow with your number, yeah, because it's, I mean, it's, the ballet is not competition, it's art, so.
But that competition catapulted him to New York and to ABT. Barely 1 year later, he's preparing for one of the most important nights of his young life. In Don Quixote, Paloma plays Kitri, who's in love with Basilio.
I feel like Basile is like me a little bit.
How so?
The Spanish people, it's very, they have a lot of energy and they're very fun and very, so, I don't know, I try to be me, myself, so.
Control your energy.
He kind of eliminates the middleman. He reaches right out to whomever is watching. And that's a star.
Dance writer Elizabeth Kay.
He's fearless. I suppose if you're going to perform for the first time a full-length ballet on the stage of the Met on opening night where you've never been, being fearless is not a bad quality to possess.
Es un poco como.
But fearless is not a word Angel uses either in Spanish or English. Performing, he says, is like floating above the audience, reaching into the heart of each person.
You don't feel your body. You only feel your spirit, and you don't feel the floor. So
You work really hard in class and rehearsal, so when you go on the stage, you don't have to worry about it. It just have to be so natural that you don't have to think about anything. It's just you can just enjoy being on the stage.
Finally, opening night is just hours away. Will Kevin McKenzie's gamble pay off? Will the hype surrounding his young stars be justified?
Downstairs, left.
The audience voted with their hands. The critics with their reviews. Clive Barnes.
There is this great pleasure of seeing them in the bloom of youth. They have a quality that they're never going to have again, don't they?
Elizabeth Kay.
I hope that they can sustain what they've already begun to prove. Because right now, they're extraordinary people at the age that they are, and you sense they could go all the way, absolutely all the way. It could be extraordinary.
You have to be very careful when you do a warm-up because you're protecting yourself against injury when you perform. So you have to be very thorough and consistent. When one's a performer, one's aware of the audience. That becomes a distraction from just sensing where your muscles are that day. I mean, your muscles are very different every day, and you have to deal with them carefully. I vary the pace of it so that if it's terribly early in the morning and I'm slow, I work very slowly and work through the muscles a long time.
Twyla Tharp still dances in her own company, but these days sees her role as choreographer as her main creative task.
Okay, let me have the first group, please. First quartet. This is Jenny. Jenny in the first quartet. Oh, good suffering. Okay, she's going to be working. Jenny, watch out there. She's going to be working. They're going to be working.
Her company began in experimental theaters off Broadway 15 years ago. They were a small group with no money, no costumes, almost no audience, and nothing to lose if they failed. They were all risk takers, as she was, and still is.
I think that each of the dancers is common in that they're all very different. That's their common point. And they are all what I value most, which is adventuresome. They are willing to discard what they understand in order to try anything that I ask them to try. They'll try it without being embarrassed by the fact that they can't do it in the beginning, which is embarrassing to most people who are professional and who ordinarily do things very, very well. Okay, hold it a second. All right, we'll change over here. Thank you. Is this new development for real? Does Shelley get this flyaway usually?
That really, I ran right over. That was higher than usual.
It was very high, but very nice. Do you know what you do? Let me see. As far as a technique that I have, I don't really have a technique. I assume a lot of things as granted from dancers when they come into the company. I assume a strong classical technique, okay, and then we just start to work with it. Do it again. Don't try for so many. I don't care if it's only 2 pirouettes. It's the supporting heel that's important.
When she began, Twyla Tharp's work was considered avant-garde. Not everyone understood what she was doing. Gradually, she developed a following. But her newest venture, which opened this week on Broadway, means she will have to reach a broader audience.
I've never done a project like this before. Ordinarily, anything that presented itself on Broadway would have done this out of town months ago, refined it, taken it to Hartford, refined it, taken it to Boston, refined it, etc. We're opening it on Broadway. I mean, what can I tell you? I don't know.
Is this a risky venture, the Broadway show?
Yes.
In more than one sense?
Yes.
Money, prestige?
Yes. Audience curiosity, the company. I mean, it's a long season. 3 weeks is a long time for a company, even of 16, which is large for us. The economical risk is not so dire at this point. The tickets are doing well. I don't really think of it as a gamble so much as an experiment. I figure that I've earned it. If it fails, it fails. That's okay. You can have a failure every 15 years. I'll make it another 15, and then I'll try again. Elements I've found always have to be added very carefully and slowly. I've gone about learning to make dances somewhat scientifically. I've started with an absolute minimum, which in the beginning was no music, no sets, no costumes, and only women. Bit by bit, we've added all the elements.
One of her new works has both dancers and dialogue.
She was not so very young anymore. She was one of them. She could go out alone. No one called her for dinner. She could stay out as late as she wanted and smoke cigarettes and have real boyfriends. She could even have her own children and read the newspapers without help. She was 39.
One benefit walked and another one married some athlete. What do you think of that, huh?
Some critics have said her work seems unchoreographed, impromptu.
I find that very flattering because nothing is harder to create than chaos. And spontaneity for an actor is the most difficult thing to produce.
Her own adventuresome nature has led her to produce dances for the movie version of Hair. She's used music as diverse as jazz, rock, folk, and classical. And she's even designed dances for world champion figure skater John Curry.
Because I'm curious, I guess. Also because you can learn different things from different people. I learned a lot from working with John that's been applied to the choreography. Obviously, working on a film, you learn how to look. You learn different points of view from different mediums.
One medium she's explored more imaginatively than most is television, using its electronic possibilities to explore the dance, as she did in this special produced for public television.
Dance is traditionally a spatial medium, and television is a very two-dimensional medium. Now, television can do things that cannot be done on stage. You can't do all the wonderful kinds of time devices that you can do with television, so when you're working in television, you take advantage of those things.
3, 2, 1.
I think that for an artist to maintain objectivity is probably the most important thing that can be accomplished during a career. It's very easy to turn stale and to only see things in one way. So that to pull yourself out of how you're accustomed to working and force yourself to work in an entirely different way, it's very valuable. often say about success, I lived without it for a long time. I hope I can live with it for a long time.
Like many little girls, Nancy Leibach wants to be a ballet dancer.
Ballet is a complete physical training with expression. It's dreams, it's acting, it's music, self-expression. Totally disciplined. It's a fairy tale.
But Nancy and her classmates cannot hear the music being played in class. They are all deaf. As Nancy will tell you, being deaf does not make the dream of being a ballet dancer any less desirable.
Finish, flesh, flesh, dash, trash, English, British, gosh, ash.
Beautiful. Okay.
However, for a deaf child, attaining the dream means surmounting the difficulties. Speech is one of them.
I'd be a foolish, that message.
Good, that's a good
At the Lexington School for the Deaf in New York, some teachers describe 10-year-old Nancy as an outstanding student and the one most likely to succeed, the future of the deaf community.
For 3 years, Nancy Leibach has been coming here to the Joffrey Ballet School in New York City to study ballet with 11 other deaf children. The special class, which is city-funded, began as an experiment.
Why not? Why not a deaf child with dreams? They have now seen ballet on television. Movement is a part of a child's life. So we fashioned it to meet the deaf child's needs.
Meredith Bayless has been teaching ballet at the Joffrey School for many years. This is the first class in which she had to depend on lip reading, sign language, and something else.
With the children, it was a different format of learning. With a deaf class, education class, they more or less sit always to face their teacher. And of course, ballet class is set on that rectangular line, and they had to learn where to look, and we had to teach them how to hear. Put your left hand and count with your right. We say here, but to feel those vibrations, we spent time at the piano and around the piano with their hands on the piano, with the piano amplified, until they found that there was a beat and a frequency they could pick up.
Nancy and the other students wear hearing aids to amplify the vibrations.
Ban, ban, ban.
They do have special problems. I can't yell at them if their back is to me. Where, you know, you talk to a child even though the child's back is to you in a hearing class. I have to structure everything to face them.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Their problem is hearing or deciphering the musical phrase. They can get the rhythm and the beat, but they're not always sure where one is. Sometimes they'll end up doing counting on one when it's actually two. And we go over it and we sign it and get it started for them.
Hearing impaired or not, pupils of Miss Bayliss are not pampered. They are there to learn ballet, and correct ballet is what they will learn.
As you've seen, they're very normal children. They're devils. They get into trouble. They make me mad. They make me laugh. They please me. You know, they're very normal. Nothing different about them except they do not hear as we do.
Yes, sometimes if my father comes to pick me up, he sees me while I'm dancing, and if I don't dance well, you know, my father tells me that, you know, I should do a good job.
Nancy's parents and 3 brothers, who are also deaf, have been supportive.
There's no difference between, you know, deaf and hearing people. And, you know, don't let the word deaf or deafness, you know, like enter your mind here. It's just, you know, nothing is impossible. You know, we can do anything hearing people can do. Right. I mean, we encourage and urge the children to do as much as they possibly can.
Peggy and Albert Leibach are active in the deaf community and are outspoken on the rights of non-hearing people to carry on normal lives. Nancy's oldest brother, Bruce, has written a book for children about Nancy and her wish to become a ballerina. It's his way of telling the world that deaf people have the same dreams as those who hear.
People have to see to believe.
People have to see to believe.
You have to show them first of all.
You have to show them, first of all, what you can do.
And what you can be.
And what you can be.
But most important of all, that you can feel.
But most important of all, that you can feel.
Nancy's a very nice little dancer, and she's worked very hard. And she has a desire. She likes it. That's one of the reasons why she's been rewarded with going to hearing class now.
Yes, when I get it right, you know, I think I could become a good ballerina.
And maybe she can. Miss Bayliss says that the world is changing for deaf performers.
You have on Broadway Children of a Lesser God. That was unthought of 15 years ago. That hearing people would go to a play with deaf actresses, actors. You know, so who can say what the future will be? Maybe I'm fostering a pioneer.
Jacob's Pillow in the Berkshire Mountains of Massachusetts has been a summer home for dance for 51 years.
Jacob's Pillow is a magic place. It is a place that holds the history of dance. Dance is an art form that happens like that. There's a performance, it comes and it goes, but all those performances happened on our stage, and all of those performers walked this ground. And I think that you feel that energy here. When someone comes here, they realize that they're part of the continuum of the history of dance.
Ted Shawn founded Jacob's Pillow in 1931. Long before Nureyev and Baryshnikov, he set out to prove to Americans that male dancers could be tough and macho. He recruited students from a local college for gym teachers, taught them to dance, and toured the country as Ted Shawn and his ensemble of male dancers. Liz Thompson runs Jacob's Pillow and its school for young dancers.
We auditioned in 5 cities, and it was exciting and difficult because I wasn't only looking for technicians, I was looking for people. We accepted some people who were not as technically proficient as others that we saw because I felt that there was a sense of life and excitement about them. And I think that's what makes the artist, after all.
Look directly at the audience, know that somebody's there, okay? But you don't want to recognize them. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. It really is the survival of the fittest. Whose knees last the longest, whose brain doesn't give way, you know, who can keep smiling, that kind of thing.
Anne Reinking has starred on Broadway and in movies, notably All That Jazz. This summer, she taught a master class at Jacob's Pillow.
And back, and come up. Tiny, tiny hip, hip. Now walk. Very beautiful walk. It's a tough world. It's a world full of emotion, and you're selling yourself. You're not selling toothpaste or a piece of hydraulic equipment or a stock or a bond. You're selling yourself. So you need tremendous strength of character as well as strength of your body. 3. You know they're watching. Don't look at them. No, watch them feel your back. That's it.
Leslie Williams says she has one goal, to work as hard as she can to be mediocre
We all know that
at
from
nothing.
day one, because that's all we hear is the waitress who's a dancer, the cab driver who's a dancer. Everybody has sometime jobs just to support the arts, and it's really hard because we know it's competitive.
High chin, high chest. Flatten out. 1, 2. Good. That's good. Now focus onto the audience. First time.
Almost all the students say they hope Jacob's Pillow will be their last stop before making it big in New York City.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vowels and vowel shape position.
Kevin Weldon already lives in New York, where he sews costumes and cleans houses and tries to make it as a dancer.
There's so many people there that if they want somebody who can do, you know, some fantastic trick, they're going to be able to find someone who can do that, you know. And so everyone's working to be better than everyone around them, and it gets unfriendly and sometimes very fierce, you know. It's much more relaxed and easy and friendly up here. You know, everybody just gets a chance to work on what they need to work on and not worry about, you know, what the guy next to them at the bar is doing, if they're, you know, if their leg is higher or they do more turns than they can. It's sort of a place to get away from that. Most everybody in the dance world passes through here at one time or another, and it's a wonderful place to make connections with choreographers or company directors or just other dancers to find out what's going on.
Linda Kent was a student at Jacob's Pillow. This summer she was back as a member of the Paul Taylor Dance Company.
It's exciting for them to see something on stage and then have a person come in to their class and say, all right, we're working in a section from a piece called Diggity, and actually giving you the steps, the style, the movement, you know, the chance to get, you know, sink your body into it, you know. See, Paul Taylor has a style. It's not an exact technique, you know, it's a way of moving. And the only way you can find out about that way of moving is to do it. You can't read about it or talk about it, you know, you've got to jump in feet first. You know, if we see people in our classes that are just, you know, on the verge or ready to be in the company, we would encourage them to come to New York and perhaps come to our studio and understudy for a while. Pillow is a place full of possibilities. Dreams, you're so tired you don't even think about dreams. It's just a lot of possibilities that you can get your extension from here to there in 5 weeks, and it happens.
Gave me a chance to really concentrate for, even if for only a couple months out of the year, on my technique and my dancing, to get it all together and sort of re-psych myself to go back into New York and start fighting again.
Face up stage, cross your leg. You start off in silhouette, okay? 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I've been at it for a long time, but it wasn't that long ago when I was just on the precipice of going to New York. And, you know, I used to do this in the summer, too, go to these places to where you just dance. And so when I see it, it's a great deal of nostalgia. And also, it's thrilling because you see the potential. You see that they just love this. They're not jaded, they're not streetwise. They're just kids, and they can go any way. You know, and just about anybody in this room, if they have tremendous drive and absolute desire, could probably do very, very well in the dance world. Once you start all this oiling.
It is precision born of discipline that gives the ballet its sharp-edged elegance.
Good, good, hold it. Hold it, hold it, good. Hold it, hold it, hold it. One more.
For master ballet photographer Harvey Edwards, fascination lies in the painful and punishing price that discipline exacts.
Relax, down.
These dripping devotees are members of the Joffrey Company.
The second one. Let's try skirt first, and then we'll see how it goes. If that doesn't work, then we'll take it off. I just don't want to lose your hand, okay? That's the problem. And with that skirt, it just kind of flows all over. Emotion has to be emotion. It has to convey something. The average amateur photographer goes out and takes a picture of a scene or children playing or something like that. But what they're doing is they're taking a shot of a vast area. And within that vast area, there is an emotion. And through my work, what I do is I basically capture the emotion. Open your finger at a little more. Good. Right there. Good. All right, relax for a minute. Let's try that again. I could be shooting a shot of a truck driver. I mean, it really doesn't matter. And he'll be driving or something. And what I'm trying to capture from that would be a part of him. What is going on within himself? What is really the emotion behind that action that he's doing? And that basis is what I try and capture. It's got to be the core.
For Edwards, the core toward which he works is an extracted fragment, something which symbolizes a feeling or a mood. This relentless selectivity is visible in three of his most famous posters: leg warmers, ballet slippers, and this example of the supple strain of teamwork. Among your favorites is the piece Night Performance. Why is it among your favorites?
Why? It's a dancer coming off of stage after performance with a lot of makeup on, and you could see the smile, half smile. The makeup is cracked, the sweat is coming through the makeup, little droplets, and you could feel that she is elated and depressed. I find it extremely moving, my favorite. But in terms of success or in terms of commercial or sales, not successful. It's too strong. Leg warmers?
In the 5 years since Harvey Edwards quit painting pictures and began snapping them with a camera, he has found his way to almost 1 million walls with his posters. So large an industry has he become that his full-time agent has a full-time assistant. He is among the happy few who have made art pay.
Good morning, Max. Good morning, Roxanne.
The ebullient Edwards has a good morning even for a pair of mannequins.
Now, let's see which rolls we'll start with. I will take not 200, maybe 400, 600, 1,000 shots, and I will edit it. I will make sure that that one single frame is got to be the strongest image out of all the shooting. I think I have it. I think that says it right there. And look how strong it is. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's a very emotional piece.
No, it's really beautiful.
But what I want to do is drop a second black on his tights, because it's going to make it pop away from it. In other words, I want to see the separation. There's kind of like a halo over his back, all right? I want that open, to be kept open. And as the gradation goes up towards the top of it, I want it deeper and deeper, darker and darker to black.
There are a great many steps, one of which is you're following it through the color process. How can you stop that or say, no, it's too blue or it's too green or whatever?
I tell them to stop. I mean, basically I just tell them what I want. I work with them. I am there. I make sure. See how much black we have in here? We gotta open that up. Yeah. I have to have a really clean area in here. Otherwise, I'm really going to lose it, because Ed can tell you, I put on a ton of ink. There is no point where I say, okay, run it and just walk away. Every time a sheet comes off, there is maybe a minute change from color anywhere on the sheet. You're losing it. Look. You see? And what I'll do is I will stand there and I will correct and correct and correct as every sheet comes off. Taking on life now.
Usually it takes us about 1,500 sheets of waste to get it to get the color up and to get it into register.
Print shop foreman Sal Ferrari is a perfectionist after Edwards' heart.
When the job is off, all plates are destroyed. The skid of paper that comes off is strapped with a chain and locked. The security is quite intense, so no one will take it. They're limited edition, and we don't want anyone taking them and selling them on their own.
Feels good, though, knowing that it's finished. Too high? Lower? We'll get it. Right there?
One of the walls on which Edwards hangs is at Ronald McDonald House, a residence for children with cancer. Edwards is giving the charity part of the proceeds of his latest dance poster.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
The charity gave Edwards a black tie party.
This poster, I must tell you, Harvey decided that the thing that the children at the Ronald McDonald Houses needed mostly was love and protection during their most stressful time. And this is his concept of that. Isn't that great?
Good, all that. Relax, relax. Let's try it again. I guess it was the fact of looking at it and trying to convey an emotion of warmth, of strength, a feeling of, you know, today's society is so transient. I mean, everybody's moving, everybody's running, nobody's stopping. And to me, these are two people that have stopped and they have huddled and you could see that they feel and they've touched sensitivities. That's the shot.
We do our arrival pool. We always do our pool as to what time we'll arrive.
5:18.
5:18. That's my number. 5:12.
Did anybody beat that? Oh, he's got it in the hole. Can you beat him now?
It's such a joy to be on the stage. I mean, think how wonderful it is when at the end of performance, 3,000 people are applauding you. I mean, that's a thrilling moment in one's life, that you've touched a number of people. And when that happens, you get something from it that I know is very special.
For 30 years, the Joffrey Ballet Company has covered America, sometimes bringing dance to towns that haven't seen a live show since Edwin Booth came through.
How's your quarter? Did you just look at Roger's cards? You looked at Roger's cards?
Starting with 6 performers in a station wagon, Robert Joffrey's operation now carries 40 dancers in a bus. Only the dedication and zeal is unchanged, as Joffrey shepherds his troupe, relaxes it, and still on occasion teaches it.
That's right. Plie, plie. Good. Once more. On left side. Bottom and brush. Place it. Go forward. Release the hip. Up. Good. 1. And 2. Reverse forward. That's it.
I enjoy teaching. It's one of the pleasures of my life. I get something very special, and seeing someone improve and work on the line or the phrasing or being more sensitive to a quality of movement, that is something that has always excited me.
Bar work has to be motivated by the music. If you let the music move you, you won't have tension. Tension results when you go against the music. You know that in choreography. You take the bars and the wings. Gentlemen, help the ladies.
And I always think of my dancers as artistic athletes because they demand so much of the body. And they're very critical of themselves.
That's a boy, and double. And double, easy, hop. That's right. Good. Good.
I never danced with my own company. Never.
Why did you never dance with your own company?
Because I felt it was very important for me to watch, and I was very involved in watching everybody else and making sure that the lights were right and the music and the direction and the choreography was the way it should be. Remembrances that came from the company. We're carrying on. And this is something special, and I'd like you to sort of read that. That's the rare picture of Pavlova, and these were given to me by my teacher, Marianne Wells. You have to look at the back. It's a wonderful thing that she did. Can you read that?
On the back, this picture was taken in the Ellis McBride studio in Seattle in 1925, the last year that Pavlova visited the United States. It is my plan to give a copy of this picture to each of my students who has made an outstanding contribution to the dance. In other words, some students didn't get this picture, but you did. It's very handsome. That must make you feel very proud.
It does. It's very special. And here's...
As a youth, Joffrey danced, but his dreams went beyond center stage to the many places around it, filled by the impresario. Few places in his apartment are unfilled by mementos.
Look up at her. Look up at her. Let's feel together. Stay together. Now go on. Okay. Now don't take your head away until you have to. But I was always sort of, I seemed to be pushing people around in school. I was always sort of directing plays and planning the pageants and sort of directing and finding scripts and doing a waltz for a operetta. Even at an early age, I seemed to be directing people somehow, and people seemed to enjoy it.
Joffrey is more enthusiastic than autocratic as he rehearses his troupe in the John Cranko choreography for Romeo and Juliet. Joffrey is famous for its faithful recreations of the classic repertoire. It has given many young choreographers a first chance and regularly stages the work of Gerald Arpino, Joffrey's associate since pioneer days in Seattle.
Now when she goes back, her feet look exquisite. Oh, I love when that goes into
For the 30th anniversary, yes. Arpino created birthday variations.
Jerry is very involved in creating ballet, and his focus is on that. And also, he's a great fundraiser.
While Arpino plucked at purse strings on the coast, Joffrey took the troupe to Washington.
Hi. Welcome. I'm thrilled you're here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
It's nice to meet you.
This east-west split is part of a scheme to give the company homes in New York and Los Angeles.
Well, the Joffrey is about the only major company that does the largest touring in the United States. We've done every state.
You just wish that you could have the money you want to accomplish what you want to, and that's always difficult. And postponing. I hate to postpone something. And often I find in the arts you have something, you want to do it. We wanted to do Cinderella in 1978, and I even choreographed parts of it. And then we never raised all the funds for it, and that was sort of difficult.
So it doesn't get in your mouth?
A company is so complicated, and you wear many hats.
And with a costume like this, you can't catch immediately. You have to turn, the material falls, and then you grab the girl. And this a little higher, so it looks like almost like a little mantilla.
Oh.
On stage, please, on stage for birthday variation.
planning, I feel, that's so important. Knowing what you want to do in 5 years. I mean, I think that's the thing that always excites me.
The big spending this season went for the opulent production of Romeo and Juliet. Now, it is said that when John Cranko created Romeo and Juliet for the Stuttgart Ballet, that the company wasn't very good, and he had 2 dancers.
I think when he created that for young dancers, like our company, I find it's a suitable Romeo and Juliet for us, because it has those wonderful, clear telling of the story, and the Romeo and Juliet are wonderful roles, and it's so well put together. And I think that's an advantage for us.
I can see why it was said that if you had not run a ballet company, you could have been a diplomat.
My mother always said that. She said you should always go in the diplomatic service because you like to work with people.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Pirouette, and a little faster, Janice, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Pirouette, single, arabesque, pas de bourrée, on the door double, pas de bourrée, on the door double.
Bill T. Jones says that a good dancer has heart, guts, strength, intelligence, and personality. By that definition, Bill T. Jones is certainly a good dancer, and more. As he demonstrated this summer at a benefit at Longhouse in East Hampton, New York, Bill T. Jones is also a choreographer, performance artist, and poet.
In 1955, there were only black people. In 1955, there were only black women with hair like gossamer who would sprinkle cheap perfume evening in Paris.
As co-founder and artistic director for the Bill T. Jones Arnie Zane Dance Company, his accomplishments and artistic success were earned while he battled poverty, homophobia, and racism.
Didn't always start with the blood and the glasses and the screaming. In 1955, we stopped traveling. In 1955, my dad decided he wanted to be a black Yankee.
The youngest of 12 children, Bill is from a migrant family, farmers who picked fruit up and down the eastern seaboard.
They passed on the notion to me, you are not allowed to fail. You are not allowed to fail. You are expected to do better than we did. This was understood. This was creed. To this day, even at the moments when I am most down and there is a destruction course going down, there is a little parachute that pulls. You can't do this, Bill. You cannot become a drug addict. You cannot become disillusioned, skeptical, dead, spiritually dead person, because you have work to do which is in some ways bigger than you are. You are a conduit.
Another irreplaceable and indelible influence on Bill T. Jones was his partner in life and dance, Arnie Zane. Arnie Zane died of AIDS just short of his 40th birthday in 1988.
He encouraged me to be myself. It was like exploring and having the best buddy to do it with. One thing led to another, and suddenly began to find an identity. We were no longer just two young guys, we were artists now.
After 11 years of performing together as a team, Bill T. Jones and Arnie Zane formed the full-time, full-scale dance company that has appeared throughout the United States and in 22 countries. Critics have hailed the company as choreographically rich. Their dance explores the way people manage to survive and triumph in art and in life.
Bill is out to provoke, and in the best sense, he's very thought-provoking.
New York Times dance critic Anna Kisselgoff.
Bill T. Jones is a very sophisticated artist. If you really want to look at the choreography, you're going to see layers of all sorts of things happening on stage, and that's what keeps people interested.
It is our responsibility as leaders to organize a situation where people can have maximum freedom to enjoy their individual creativity. No big deal, but not such an easy job either.
One thing Bill has said in the past was having me there inspired him, challenged him to come up with new vocabulary.
Lawrence Goldhuber does not have the typical body type of a dancer, but he has the dancer's grace and ability that catches the eye of Bill T. Jones.
Bill believes the body's beautiful, and Bill believes my body's beautiful, and has helped me accept that my body is beautiful. And I walk out on the stage, and when we're in the States, people laugh often. And while that's a little hurtful, still, I've been working now with Bill for 8 years. I know I belong on that stage with him, so I trust it.
I am always looking for the gesture that changes, that changes. I'm always looking for the gesture that changes, that changes. That's choreography.
Right. Now, you shouldn't bang. Did you bang? You shouldn't bang. The shoulders should be curling.
The dance works of Bill T. Jones are the product of his personal and political history, seen through strong dance technique.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's a long, long while.
They are joyful and angry, often controversial, always provocative. The borders of gender are freely crossed. Dissonant sounds and harsh noises make a distinctive music.
Dreams Freud dreamed, or dreams Freud dreamed Freud dreamed.
He asks us to turn convention on its head, to question and respond.
Bill is not addressing issues that are irrelevant to us. He's addressing the most relevant issues to us, and that's the thing that makes him so powerful. But again, I have to say that he has to do it in a way that is artistically viable. Otherwise, you could just stand on a corner and wave a piece of paper and give a speech. That isn't what he's doing.
Why are you here? Because I'm an HIV positive man. I am looking at, depending on how you look at it, an uncertain future. Bend the knees and straight.
Jones is currently leading a series of survival workshops for people living with life-threatening illnesses. In an ambitious mingling of life and dance, The workshops provide raw material for a work in progress called Still Here, set to have its world premiere next year in Lyon, France.
Always give us flowing.
They're asked to dance what it feels like to end one's life. They're asked to dance the happiest moments, the lowest moments of their life. And they know that we're learning this dance, and it's going to be movement that will have a life and be put into a larger context.
I'm still flying, but...
There's been sorrow in your life, but there's also lots of joy. There's so much joy in your dance. What is your source of that joy?
The dance is like a sweet, sweet nectar. It has its bitter side too, but we have to learn how to touch it and taste it. That is my creed, you know, and I do the dance and I understand it the more I do it. That makes me happy. As my mother says, it makes me want to shout, you know? And that's what it should feel like this. Like I want to shout. My life should feel that way.
To discover what's going on in the art world, you can't just look in the most obvious places. Take dance, for example. There's some real cutting-edge stuff going on right here in rural Iowa.
In the town of Indianola, the fall dance season got underway last week with a parade featuring tractors. The tractors, you see, are the dancers.
All late balanced, so don't be slow. Out of your corner and away we'll go.
Square dancers. You're expecting what? Classical tractor ballet?
Turn it back to the left-hand star. Come out a bit, but don't look far.
And driving are 8 farmers from Nemaha, Iowa. Population 100.
Ladies come out, go behind. Square dance and tractors, one of a kind.
Damon Mooney says it wasn't always easy pioneering a new art form.
Did they all think you were a little off your rocker?
Well, they, some of them did, I believe.
And no women volunteered, so some of the men had to be the women, the ones with smaller tractors.
You are the lovely Mrs. Wilson?
Yes, I am.
That's an over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
That's large.
Yeah, well, 44 deep.
Is there a lot of cross-dressing in Nemaha? Is it
You're
known
looking
for
at
that?
it.
You guys, are you pretty secure in your masculinity? I mean,
Yeah, let's see, we have that all figured out.
We knock out this crowd, you better be. We don't shave the day of the show.
No. Yeah, that's nice and long.
It's showtime, and large crowds always turn out to watch, rain or shine, as these old tractors nimbly allemande, do-si-do, and promenade. It's a rare chance for hard-working farmers and workhorse tractors to show their artistic sides.
The last 2 dances are a couple of my favorites. I don't know if the guys like them, but...
Lori here tailors her calls for tractor dancing.
Jets to the right-hand star once more. Tractor engines really roar.
She says one of the bigger problems was getting these guys to hold hands.
We're getting braver.
They've done 20 shows this year and are getting calls from around the country and the world.
Yeah, we have a few groupies that
You have
show up.
groupies in this? This is pretty exciting.
We're groupies for the tractors, right.
How far did you drive today to see them?
About 4 hours.
It's starting to look like a Rolling Stones tour. They have their own website and even a video.
Is this becoming one of the bigger industries in Nemaha?
It is. It probably is. You're right.
These guys should probably be out harvesting at this time of year here in the nation's breadbasket. But crop prices being what they are is enough to drive farmers into the booming business of tractor dancing.